Look, if you've ever struggled with processes falling apart in your agency or just spent hours explaining the same steps over and over to your team, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to create an SOP that actually works step by step so your team can execute perfectly and never have to micromanage them ever again. From the flowcharts to the checklists to the videos that make your SOP crystal clear. For those that don't know me, hey, I'm Nick, and I've helped multiple agencies scale to 7 or even 8 figures by just building repeatable systems and processes. So look, step 1 is all about defining the goal. We have to figure out the goal of the actual SOP. What is the outcome that you're actually trying to create? Every single SOP starts with clarity on the actual objective. If the team doesn't know the goal, it's impossible for them to actually execute well or consistently. Step number 2 is really identify the stakeholders. We need to determine who needs to be involved, who's writing it, and who's actually going to use it. So you actually have to make sure that the roles are very clear early on, because handoffs between roles are where most errors actually happen within a business. Step 3, we have to outline the methodology. If your SOP requires a methodology, not all do, but if it's something for like a digital product, web process, or creative workflow, you may want to include it. Like, what is the methodology behind how we do digital or web or creative? You need a short summary inside of the SOP so that everybody understands the approach without needing this 20-page manual attached to it, because when SOPs get too long, people don't use them. Step 4 is all about gathering the short steps. You have to write down every single thing that's required for the process. Put them in chronological order and ask yourself, is this a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even one-off task? If you're not sure of the steps, one of the easiest ways to figure out what the steps actually are is record yourself performing the process and then watch it back so that you can capture every single detail and question yourself why you're doing what you're doing. You can even use a tool like Scribe or Loom to help you out. Then start assigning roles and responsibilities. So for each step, clearly indicate which role owns it. Be very mindful of the transitions between the roles. This is where context is lost in the handoffs. Define expectations not only for the sender of the information, but also the receiver. What are the smart questions receivers should be asking themselves? And what are the questions that senders should be asking themselves in terms of what does the receiver truly need to understand and take away from this in order to be able to do the next step in this process? Then, still within the step, start thinking about and considering the time estimates if it's for client-facing work. Why? Because we generally want to know how long things take. Because ultimately, the number one inventory that we have as agencies is people's time. So estimating time is always a good thing. Then we get into checklists. Checklists prevent errors. Hospitals use them to save lives. If a surgeon can forget to wash their hands without one, your team can forget those steps too. Back in the day, the number one reason people got sick and died at hospitals was because there weren't checklists on how to properly wash your hands. I am not kidding. So use checklists and insert them within each step or at the end of the SOP and include those key points, whether it's Q&A, key checks to the work, what are the handoff details. Make sure that there's a checklist for sending and receiving. This ensures nothing slips through the cracks. I personally love a flowchart, and visuals just help people understand processes at a glance. So create a flowchart that maps out steps and responsibilities. This is especially helpful for complex workflows or multi-departmental tasks. I cannot say this enough. Videos bring SOPs to life. Record yourself walking through the process. Then take that recording using Loom or any other platform and attach the link of you doing the process inside of the SOP. We need to figure out where to put the SOP. So it has to be in a predetermined area. The best predetermined area is inside of the project management system. So when people go in and add a task or some type of project, at the very top, it should be a link to the standard operating procedure within it. At the very bottom of the SOP, you should always add in some examples of what good looks like. So show examples of what this looks like finished. If it's a type of creative, show that. Show people what it is that we are trying to achieve by the end of the standard operating procedure. Examples are worth 1,000 words. Lastly, we're getting into sign-offs. Before fully rolling this thing out, we need to get sign-offs from every department affected by the SOP. This ensures alignment and prevents issues downstream. Update the SOP with feedback and get final approval from everybody. That way everyone is aligned. Lastly, kickoff and training. We need to actually launch this thing. So depending on the scope, this might be as simple as just an email, maybe as involved as a full department training session on this thing, because it could be something really important. The goal is to ensure that everybody knows the newly created process and can execute it accurately. Not only that, they need to agree to actually use this thing. So we need to get acceptance from people and the confirmation that they will do it this way moving forward. So to recap, remember, start with the goal, define stakeholders, outline methodology, gather the steps, assign roles, create checklists, add workflows, record videos, and then get sign-offs. And finally, kick off with training. Do this consistently and your agency will have a repeatable system for success. Because remember, if people can't achieve the goals without you as the primary owner or leader, you are going to be the bottleneck. Now, if you want to take this a step further, I've created a free guide that shows you exactly how to implement management systems for your agency, creating clear accountability, boosting performance, and ultimately driving more profit and growth. The link is in the description below, and start building SOPs that actually work without you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.